The societies of the past have acted as a guide for every other afterwards. History provides answers to how a society has arrived at any given point. However, history does not deliver a source of ultimate truth. Rather, it offers the present lessons to live by. Take, for example, modern philosophical questioning of kings and aristocracy. Reevaluation of the relationships between authority and the individual led to propagation of democracy. Once begun, the reassessment and reevaluation of social norms cannot be stopped. Today, that is the second decade of the 21st century, no prejudice is considered too small, too niche, or too irrelevant to avoid just scrutiny. Tearing down illegitimate social institutions has led to the push towards diversity. And how has this played out? Well, research has found that diverse workforces foster innovation, creativity, and better overall group performance. Follow the light of truth down the path of justice, and you will end up in a place of greater social well-being. And it all starts with questioning power. So, power is the tool of authority, but where does power actually come from? Well, control over resources endows a person with power, or the ability to obtain what they want even when others resist. Simple enough. So, what's a resource which shapes all of our lives? One which creates cultural, ecological, and economic patterns that underlie our entire society. One word: food. Whoever controls your food controls you. So, not only are communities subject to the power-based decisions of distant others, but the whole system depends on fragile, globe-spanning supply chains and ecologically destructive factory farming methods. Obviously, this is not the most stable design, so we need a new one. One which enables equitable distribution of power through food self-sufficiency. Urbanism in the 21st century will be a task of succession. Thankfully, the past is here to guide us. City planners today are given the opportunity to learn from the failures of suburban sprawl as well as the successes of traditional town planning. The world is built upon transactions. Transactions of goods and services makes the economy run. Transactions of heat and chemicals makes biology work. Transactions of the past make up the present. The biological and economic transactions between nature and agriculture make civilization possible. This understanding of transactions underpins the structure of agrarian urbanism. What makes agrarian urbanist transect theory different from, say, landscape urbanism is the equal value placed on both the natural and cultural habitat. In short, both social and natural diversity are given equal weighted importance. Natural habitat is protected by densely populated cities. Urban populations rely on the labor of rural farmers, and suburban areas can mitigate their ecological footprint through becoming more self-sufficient. Agrarian urbanism is based upon general transect theory. What's a transect? Well, imagine cutting yourself a slice of coastline as though it were cake. What you end up with on your plate is a geographical cross-section of a region, a delicious sequence of habitats. Ocean becomes beach, which becomes dune, and then so on. This slice of earth is called a transect. Now do the same thing, but with the human landscape, all the way from the edge of civilization to its dense city center. Now divide that spectrum of human habitats into 6 distinct zones: natural, rural, suburban, general urban, urban center, and urban core. What you end up with is the rural to urban transect.
Dozing off the sign, he's just popped the bandit. Wave rock like a line, it froze like a line. Party at the fix, damn that's so outlandish. She gon' make it clap, clap, throw them bands in. Dropped out, got signed, got mom house all in the same, yo. Don't you come around me, ain't got the time, beat. Party at the fix, damn that's so outlandish. She gon' make it clap, clap, throw them bands in. Party at the fix, damn that's so
Beyond acting as a tool for pattern analysis, this method for organizing the built environment can be administered like zoning. A society is built from the land's natural resources. And land use is guided by planning and zoning. Analyzing land use laws from this perspective helps illustrate their fundamental importance and far-reaching impacts. Using Transect zoning, cities can use SmartCode as a tool for fostering agrarian urbanist design. So what's SmartCode? SmartCode, in its essence, is an open-source, form-based code, a zoning code. The ethos of SmartCode is essentially a place for everything and everything in its place until time changes the space. Rather than dictating the form and function of the land for all of eternity, SmartCode is designed to be successional and allow a place to grow and develop over time with a design process that spans professional disciplines. So the rural to urban transect divides the landscape into 6 zones. SmartCode applies different form-based code for each of those zones. But what is agrarian urbanism? What does it value? Basically, agrarian urbanist transect theory employs diversity as its index of value. Social diversity as well as natural diversity. Along the rural to urban transect, levels of social and natural diversity are combined in various ratios to create a diversity of equally valued places. This transect of food production does not require the sacrifice of lifestyle preference for the greater ecological good, because it equalizes environmental performance along the whole of the transect. Americans can still have their suburbs and eat from them too. Using the transect as a framework, elements of food production can be allocated to each zone based on the amount of land consumed and carbon mitigation requirements. Or to put it simply, the more rural the zone, the more self-sufficient residences become. In this series, we will explore local food systems across the rural to urban transect and the professionals, volunteers, and enthusiasts who are making it all possible. From a rural farm to an urban one, from a rooftop garden to a roadside community plot. There's all kinds of ways people can grow food across the transect. And there's all kinds of ways that city planners and municipalities can make it easier and actually legal to do so.
We have to be ready. Thank you, Jesse. Only one, but that's okay.